All right, let's talk about Stephen King's second best anthology movie behind Creepshow, and that's Cat's Eye. This came out in 1985, starring Drew Barrymore and many, many other famous actors. This movie has a lot of familiar faces. And this was a patron request from Corey, and this was my second time watching it. Saw it for the first time last year, actually, for my 1985 top 10 ranking, and this did make my top 10. I really liked it then, and I still really like it. So, what's the story? It's an anthology movie. It's got this cat that is connecting kind of the stories to each other. This cat goes from New York, where the first segment takes place, and then the cat travels to New Jersey, I think, where the second segment takes place, and then it travels to Wilmington, North Carolina, where Drew Barrymore's character is at, where the third segment takes place. There's three segments. One's about a guy quitting smoking, and this organization does extreme stuff to make you quit. And then the second segment is about a guy who is fooling around with this lady who's married to this guy who is a dangerous man who makes him do a very dangerous stunt. And then the third one is about a troll monster that is trying to take the breath from this little girl played by Drew Barrymore, like I said. And so what I like about this movie is I like that the wraparound, if that's what it is, the cat, how that is connected to each story, and then the cat actually plays a huge part into the third story, actually becomes like the hero of the film. So I just thought that was neat how they tied this cat character into every segment. It's just going around, it's just traveling from segment to segment, and then it becomes a hero by the end. And I like that Stephen King threw in all these little Easter eggs and nods to other films and books that he wrote. Stuff like Cujo and Dead Zone Beyond the TV, some chick reading Pet Sematary. It was just fun to see. And like I said, this movie has a lot of famous people, but one of my favorite actors is in this movie, and that's James Wood. He is just a great, funny actor, and he's terrific in this, and so are a lot of people. Even the bad guys in this film, they're like the bad guys in Creepshow, where you don't like them, but you like them because of the performance and the dialogue. Like they're fun bad guys. You like to hate them. And this movie has a lot of really good dialogue. Very funny, some of it pretty corny. It's pretty quotable too. There's a lot of just funny one-liners and quirky characters. And unlike most anthologies, where there's always like that one segment that you wish wasn't there or should have been trimmed or just, doesn't work for you, I think all three of these segments are good. One of them kind of feels out of place a bit, but I think all three of these segments are solid. My favorite one is the second one in the middle, because I have a fear of heights, so it really tapped into my fear of falling to my death, and it was just really intense. And the sound design, the wind blowing up there, and just being on the ledge like that, like it was really like goosebumps. Like I was like my hair was standing up. It's such a terrifying situation that guy is thrown into. I think the effects in this movie overall age pretty well. Like there's no like really bad effect. Like there's some like green screen, blue screen effects where you can tell that that's what it is a little bit, but it's not so jarring. Like they do some pretty impressive like enlarged sets in the third segment to make the troll monster look smaller, and the look of the troll monster is creepy and unique looking, so I like that. I can see this actually scaring kids. Like if I saw this at a really young age, it probably would have creeped me out. So yeah, the effects are pretty good, and also you got Alan Silvestri doing the score. He did the Back to the Future movies, and it has kind of like a synth sound in here, and it's also a pretty good score. And the cat versus troll segment was pretty fun towards the end when they start battling each other in Drew Barrymore's bedroom. So that was a fun segment there. So yeah, it's very quick and fun. So there's not a whole lot of complaints really. My only two complaints is I thought the whole apparition of Drew Barrymore's character thing in the wraparound with the cat was weird. I could have done without that. Just have the cat pop up at her place it's just a coincidence. The cat's just going place to place. They could have just gotten there and I would have bought it. But instead, it's like she's sending this message out to the cat, like, come find me. But then when she sees the cat in the third segment, it's not like she recognizes it. Like, oh, it's the cat I've been sending messages to. Like, I don't get it. Like, it's just very supernatural and out of nowhere. Like, I don't know. Like, the movie isn't very supernatural until like just those little moments there, and then the third segment with the troll, and the troll has like these supernatural powers of sucking the breath out of Drew Barrymore. So it just kind of feels a little out of place because for the most part, this is a very more grounded, not supernatural anthology because the first segment is just this corporation that does bad things to make you quit smoking, and the second one is just a bad guy who caught this dude fucking his wife. So there's nothing supernatural really until the third segment. So that's what makes it feel out of place, like it should have been in a different anthology. But I'm glad it's here because I still enjoy it. So final thoughts, I think this is a fun, quick-paced anthology movie that's suitable for kids. You can watch it with the family, but it's not too PG and tame that adults can't enjoy it also. I think it's fun, and it has a really good cast. It's well shot, and it's one of the better anthologies of the 80s. So when it comes to Cat's Eye, I'm going to give this one 4 out of 5 stars. Alright, spoiler discussion. So in the opening, it takes place in New York City, and for some reason they felt like they needed to tell you that. It's clearly New York City. I didn't need it to tell me. So he goes to the place, James Wood, he's going to this place, and this guy looks really like traumatized, and then this disheveled looking wife comes out and she starts like hitting him, and it's because, later on we find out like, oh, it's because she was just getting the shit shocked out of her, and it's her husband's fault, so that's why she's hitting him. So it's funny on rewatch seeing that. You're like, oh, now I get why she did that. And I like how he's watching The Dead Zone on TV. It's my favorite Cronenberg film. James Wood is what makes this segment work because of his just nuances, his performance. He's just such a great actor. And he gives him like a demonstration with the cat, shocking it, like, this is what we're going to do to your wife. And I like that he tries to like free the cat at first. He's like, you sick sons of bitches. So he's not such a terrible person, but yeah, he goes to this party and everyone's smoking cigarettes. The whole place is filled with cigarette smoke, so there's just all this temptation. And then he imagines like one guy walking down the stairs singing I'll Be Watching You by that one band, blanking on their names. The Cars? The Police? What is it? Whatever, my dad would know. It's that one song, like Every Breath You Take. It's a very creepy, stalky song by a guy stalking a woman. But yeah, so I thought that song was perfect for this segment because they are watching this guy, every breath he takes, every move he makes. So that was a great song for this movie. And they use it twice. They use it in the third segment because it's like, we bought the song, we bought the rights to use it. God damn it, we're going to use it twice. We're going to get our money's worth. And so then, yeah, he fucks up. He's on this bridge. He lights a cigarette and then foolishly like stands up with it in his mouth. Like he should have like put it out down below. But then he gets caught. His wife gets shocked. And then that's the end of the segment, really. But then he like joins their weight loss program. I guess it's like 6 months later and he's joining their weight loss program. And if he fucks up, they're not going to shock his wife. They're going to take his wife's finger. And then he doesn't believe them for some reason. He's like, haha, that's funny. Like, you saw what they did before. But he goes to have dinner with his wife and his friend and his friend's wife. And then he sees his friend's wife is missing a finger. So he's like, oh, they were telling the truth. So then the second segment is the guy on the ledge of the building. And we got this, evil bastard who is betting on the cat's life, like whether the cat's going to make it across the road or not. I thought that scene was pretty messed up. But yeah, during this segment, we got all these different obstacles where the pigeon is like, or whatever kind of bird it is, it's like pecking at his foot. And then he like kicks it. The guy from Airplane, he just kicks it, feathers fly out, and then the one guy is blowing like an air horn at him, and then the other person's like shooting him with a hose. They're doing everything they can to get him to fall. What a fun segment. It's terrifying. And then like he's on this neon sign and it breaks and he almost falls off of that. Meanwhile, the cat's just watching the whole thing. And then the cat kind of inadvertently saves his life, just runs out, trips the one assassin dude, and then he gets the gun from him, shoots the bastard, and then makes the guy who made him walk around the building, he makes him do the same thing, and then he falls to his death because of that bird. A different bird, I guess. But yeah, then also it gets kind of dark because we learn that the woman he was sleeping with, that he wanted to run away with, she got decapitated. Her head was in a shopping bag. What's in the bag or what's in the box? Felt like Seven. He just gives him the shopping bag and then the head rolls out. Holy shit. It's PG-13, but that was pretty dark. But yeah, so that's the end of that segment. Not a whole lot to it, but still fun. And then the third segment, you got the cat that gets to Drew Barrymore's house in North Carolina, or whatever her character's name is, Amanda. We get like a POV shot of the troll, and then there's Tom and Jerry on the TV, kind of foreshadowing. The dad tells Amanda, cats, they steal your breath. Is that just a weird coincidence? Because then the troll is trying to steal her breath. So that was weird. But yeah, and then Drew Barrymore, she names the cat General. I thought that was a weird name for a girl to name the cat. So then we get the whole cat versus troll scene. It's pretty fun, and the troll jumps on the record player, starts playing that song again, but faster, and then it flies into the fan. And I love that the parents believe her story because they see all the evidence. They see the troll guts everywhere, the troll's severed arm, the troll's knife, and they're like, we can't tell anybody about this because they're not going to believe us. But I'm glad it wasn't the typical, like, they don't believe the kid even at the end. But, they see all the evidence, so it's like they have to believe her, right? What are your thoughts on this movie? What's your favorite segment? How would you rank the segments? Me, I would probably do 2, 1, 3. I like the second one the most because I just think it's the most terrifying. But I love the first one because of James Wood, and the third one's fun because of the cat and troll fight at the end. But yeah, so what is your ranking? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you like what you've seen here, you can hit this like button and become a subscriber today just by clicking on my cartoon face in about 5 seconds. And remember, it's all an opinion. You don't need to get butthurt about it.